hour.
That's probably better.
Let's close that bad boy down.
Oh, we're on. Well, you like my?
I don't know whether we're live yet, but we should be soon.
This is I'll open my Zoom. This is my Zoom.
Oh, it's your Zoom.
This is why you see yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
As
Ray,
you
there's a
see,
couple of times-
Uncle John is technically here. He's technically here.
Yeah, he's virtually. Let's have a look.
But there's a good chance he's
Your
not.
picture is like way clearer.
Of course.
It is. It must be a high quality Latvian phone.
Europe.
I think we're just gonna pass it around.
Handed down by Danny Tesh. Let's have a look. I'm just checking that nobody else has joined. Because it flashed up in a moment ago. Somebody had joined, but I've not. I'll tell you what, Sandris, that is one that is you should never give them back. Look at that one. Sandris looks like someone out of police academy.
Those are expensive, Sandra.
Yeah. You do not wreck them.
How much potato? He dies. 3.
So I feel like even by our standards, this has been quite a loose start for the fix. I mean, it's missing the cat's arsehole, and that we're not going to be able to rectify that because Ray's cats aren't here. So we'll let a few people drift in. I'll just do an official introduction to the show because you're going to love this number. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fix. Show 160. That's 160. 160 shows, lads. That's surreal as shit because you can see Ray, and in the other picture you can see Ray's arm. Look at that look. Woo. I'll tell you what, magical. Absolute magic. Yeah. So we have a few people joining us tonight, guys. Let's have a look who we got in the chat. Phil Woody is always here. The arm historian, fresh off his own live, is here with a bloody big pink hand. Tall Paul Hutchins Senior or Junior even. Who else have we got? Muscle Bike. Hey. Screen bigger. I can't see shit.
Yeah,
not bigger. Oh, there we go. Slightly better. All Broken Guy. Very good. We got Too Smooth. Lovely darts. We've got a few people coming in. Can't actually see how many, but it's not a problem. Screen's gone a little small there, but no worries. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've probably noticed we're not on the set of a porn film, even though Sandris looks like he's about to be. That's not the case. We're at least messing with our mind. Look at that, look. Sedis. Look at him. Oh, Shedis, as we like to say. The MF Chef in John's gigs. They suit him. They actually really do. I'm going to say they suit you, mate. David Tomes with a super chat. Lots of great things happening lately. Good to see you guys. Good to see you too, David. Thanks for the super chat, mate. For those of you who didn't see it yesterday, it went down in Arizona. And mate, how many people were there, John?
We had over 300 entries.
300
so about
entries?
17 people.
Yeah. Yeah, 25 people. You all pulled 9 classes. But joking aside, big turnout. Looked like you had quite a few top class pullers in the room. And a few guys that really leveled up from what I could see. Very impressed with Dallas Langston.
Yeah, he was looking good.
Yeah, looked really, really solid. So let's go over to you guys. I'm going to say, firstly, I'm very proud of you both because Ray's now taken the shades off and he looks completely and utterly shagged. And so do you, John.
Oh, I'm not at all.
It suggests to me that you both were on it big time.
That's possible.
I like how you've got Sandris just set in the background like a minder. Panzer Shedis just joining on his own phone, and the Reacher Jordan Davis. Now, for many people in the chat, you may think that Australia is full of completes, and in some cases that's true, but we found one that isn't, and his name is Jordan Davis. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, we got 2 at least that I know of. Every other Aussie that I deal with in sports, particularly people who watch cricket or rugby, will know that most Australians tend to be bastards, especially when they win. But Jordan Davis, good dude. Sam Harris, good dude. They're out there. There are some good Aussies. And we've got probably 2 of them on this show. I think Jake's in there somewhere as well, knocking about the place. So
He's turning up.
it's an absolute room full. So turning it over to you guys for a minute, who were the standouts there when you were in the room? Who were the guys that impressed you the most?
Man, there were some brutal matches. Who was the guy that went against Art in 98? David. That guy was awesome.
He's high level amazing.
Oh,
This echo thing that we're getting through here is like quite weird. We're gonna have to sort that out somehow because I feel like I've been on the bong.
not yet.
198. There's multiple Davids there.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Let us know in the chat if this echo's messing with your head, lads, like it is with me. If anybody in the chat feels like you've done, you know, a line of cocaine off the bog seat, let us know. Because quite unsettling it is now. I mean, you've got various screens. One of them is just Sandris's face in a massive pair of sunglasses, with the Arizonan sun bouncing off his shiny ass head. I've got to say, Sandris, you were impressive yesterday, mate.
What?
You look good. I mean, the only time I've seen you look better than that is when you
I
were
was running weak yesterday.
What happened with Larry Wheels, mate? Tell us all about that. How strong is Larry Wheels? We hear that he's leveled up. Is it true or what?
Oh yeah, he's pretty strong. Yeah, he's not on my level yet, but he's getting there.
He's looking pretty solid, though, isn't he? Looking pretty solid. Grabs that Turncoff.
I was feeling pretty shitty yesterday, but I'm happy that I won.
You've got the Worlds in like a couple of weeks, haven't you, as well?
No, I got Pavlo in a couple of weeks.
Oh my God, yes. You got Pavlo in July. You've got to be confident about that one, mate, at the moment, because I know you feel like you're the better arm wrestler. You're never lacking confidence.
Yeah.
Easy win, hard win. What do you think?
I have some issues with my neck and my right arm. Doesn't really work that well, but hopefully can figure it out.
What kind of issues in the neck? Give us a walkthrough on that. What's happened?
Just tightness in my traps. Just I don't know.
Now we're gonna turn it over to the reacher, Jordan Davis. You're not driving, are you, there, Jordan?
No, I've pulled up to work an hour early.
Nice, lovely darts, mate. Now, wanted to touch base with you on the Aussie lads that were over there. Most significantly, Mario.
Indeed.
Tell us a little bit about Mario.
Mario's bloody, is an exceptional puller. He's been doing it just a couple less years than me. His left is phenomenal. I think out of all the Aussies, he's probably, I think he is second best only to Lachlan. So that's why he did so well on the left arm. His right has had troubles throughout the years. But you got to remember, in everything that he did today, he only had AWE only like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So short turnaround, and the guy's still, mixing it with the best in Arizona/US. So Mario in a whole is a well-rounded puller. He can pull inside, outside press. It's like if he gets the go, he's usually pretty right with where he wants to go. Like he'll go where he should have gone, and then if he stuffs it up, he'll elbow foul or something, and then restart it again and go for gold. So
you know how the situation with Arizona came around for him, mate? Because I know that Shark was looking for him over there. He'd shown up apparently to specifically pull. What's the backstory there?
I don't know, to be honest. I know that Mario went over to Washington State like the 1.5-2 years ago, whatever that was.
Okay.
But I knew that Mario was pretty keen on going to Arizona for like the last couple months. So if Shark's gone and headhunted him, well, clearly he wanted a piece of him for some reason.
Now,
Yeah.
I missed that match yesterday, Sandris. Did that go down yesterday? Did Shark and Mario, and how did it go?
Nah, Shark was
Yeah,
pretty in control.
right arm on Andre beat him pretty easy.
Okay, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but was there
I
any
felt-
chat preempting the show, Sandris? Were they going at it a little bit before the show? Was there a little bit of talk there?
I didn't see anything, but yeah, Andre was strong. I pulled him in after pull. He was very, very good.
What weight class is he now? Like 105?
220.
Okay. So yeah, he's
I
under
think
the 100 mark.
him and Larry could be interesting, maybe.
Yeah, I meant what I said earlier, mate. Where do you rate Larry, really? No joke. Because I know he looked powerful, but I will say that it looked very much to me like you fed him some rope there. You led him into his position.
Yeah, a little bit.
Where is he? Where's he at?
I think he could be close to Lachlan's level, maybe. I would say he's
Interesting.
pretty good. Yeah,
Because
Given
the last
Lachlan-
time,
I think as well.
yeah, the last time they pulled was at the Over the Top in Oz, wasn't it? I think that's the only time that they've sort of faced each other legit. So you think he's leveled up an enormous amount at this point?
Well, I haven't called him before, but what I thought yesterday was pretty. I was pretty impressed with that. Yeah.
Who else impressed you over there, Sandris? Obviously, is this your first time in Arizona?
Yeah, first time in the States.
And what did you think overall, mate?
What?
What did you think overall? How did you rate the level?
No, the event itself was great. A lot of pullers. Like the average level, I would say is like below the level in average level in Latvia, but there are some strong guys definitely there. And yeah, in the class, I didn't really had a problems with anyone. But yeah, all the best guys were in there as well. So
yeah,
it's definitely the level is there. It's just yeah, matter of time and experience for some guys.
You think? I think it's fair to say that you're in a little bit of a microclimate from an arm wrestling perspective over there in Latvia. Not many people there, but the guys that are there are very, very solid. There seems to
be we may not be a lot, but the quality is very high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting to hear Jordan say that Mario represents effectively outside of Lachlan. Where does Mario sit with Ryan if they faced each other?
Left Mario would absolutely annihilate him. But right, they've gone back and forth over the last couple of years. Probably about a year and a half ago, I think they went like 3-2 for like the finals of two different categories. And Ryan won out on that one. So where it is at the moment, I'm not sure. They haven't faced for a while. It'd be nice to hear from Mario himself if he got to pull on the after table at AWE. But I'd say that Mario wouldn't be too far away at the moment. But yeah, that's just speculation. So I know where Mario is at, and I know he's damn strong, like 99% of the time.
Yeah, really solid.
It's just wherever Ryan ends up at the time, that you gotta kind of find out.
Is there any other guys over there that are on that sort of level or are Mario and Ryan pretty standalone? Obviously, Lachlan's out front. Who are the guys in that weight class that are similar?
Weight class being 100 kilos.
Yes.
Myself.
So you're up at 100 now. I know you ordinarily I always put you at 90, but you've got a little bit bigger now.
I'm 101 now. So,
okay.
Yeah. And then outside of that, at 100, you got a couple of guys trying to come up and get to that top level. Like you've got Brett Coots on the left arm. That's always rock solid. But he's, where his level is at always, peaks and falls.
Yep.
So it's hard to say he's, at the top. And then outside of that, you've got a lot of guys trying to notch their little name in that top tier. So, yeah.
Now we've got a question for we got a super chat through. I don't want to go around you guys really on this one and just see what your opinions are. We've had a super chat from David Toms. David, thank you very much, mate. And he's put, how do people deal with nervousness when competing in front of a crowd? Does it affect your performance sometimes? We want to start with yourself, Panzer Shedis. How do you deal with nerves, mate? Have you ever suffered from nerves?
No. When I compete, I like the crowd doesn't affect me. I don't even hear it. I don't really see it as well. But I was nervous. Like my first Worlds and Europeans, I was pretty nervous, and the way it affected me, I was had to puke a couple times before the start, so go to the bathroom a lot. So that's how it affected me.
That's pretty nervous. When you're literally throwing up, that is pretty nervous.
Vlad also used to throw up all the time before the start. So yeah, but right now I don't really get that nervous anymore.
How long did you have the nerves for? How many years?
Maybe first couple big tournaments.
Interesting.
And then kind of like you get used to it.
What about yourself, Jordan?
Yeah, I get the shakes. So I'll get like the tremors as I'm like going to grip up because I'm like so hyped up and nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think like myself at Arm Wars when I faced Stoica, I was so nervous because I didn't know the level, didn't know what was going on. But when I faced Dallas, I was completely fine because I knew where that was at. It completely changes the scenario when you don't know what you're about to face. Like when you go overseas, when you face, an unknown quantity, it really makes that level harder. And you've got to, try and center yourself to go, okay, no, I'm just going to do the best that I can today. And whatever that shows up to be is going to be, what I can do. The more I overthink it, the worse it's going to get.
It's almost like fear of the unknown then, really, like that step in the dark.
Yeah, 100%.
Interesting. Hey, Sandrich, just call in Rolly, Ray and John a second and ask them that same question, mate. Let's just see what they feel like on the nerves thing, because I know both of those guys have had different. I particularly wanted to get John Thompson's feedback on this because, as Jordan and yourself know, he was in a shit state on a couple of. So Ray, we've had a super chat in from David Toms, and he's saying, how do you deal with nervousness when you're number one? Have you ever suffered from nerves, from arm wrestling nerves, competition nerves?
Of course.
And what's your mantra, mate?
You get the first match done, and then it's it. Doesn't matter. You lose, you win. You just forget about it and just move on. You're always anxious. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna lose. It's all those things in your. Just get the first match done, and then you kind of in the groove, right? Just don't stress about whatever happens. Just move forward. Forget about it. Won, great. Keep winning. Lost, try to win, right?
When was the most nervous you've ever been, Ray?
Hey, Jordan, I love you, buddy.
Another Jordan Davis fan. Yeah, you see? A lot of love for Jordan coming in. So, Ray, what's the most nervous you've ever been, mate?
I don't know when I've been like, it's not the scale. Like I was nervous yesterday. I see the classes and I'm like, oh damn it! Like, some real killers there. So, but all fine, all good.
And I imagine Sandris was really supportive and.
I was very relaxed yesterday. Until the finals, I was very relaxed.
Were you winding Ray up though? Because I've seen you in action before, mate, and you tend to be.
No.
You left him alone, did you?
Yeah. Oh, there's Uncle John.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Here's the guy.
Explain this to me. 242-pound class and the super heavyweight left-handed. I pull both.
Yep, I saw that.
Who was my first opponent in the 242s?
First three opponents.
First in my entire tournament I just faced Sandris over and over and over again
With left arm.
with left arm.
You pulled Larry right as well, didn't you?
Well, Larry pulled me right.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
Right across
most
the table.
importantly, how was the back? How was your back?
I mean, since I got the cortisone injections, like it was hurting last night, but it feels pretty good today.
Tremendous, mate. I
mean,
wanted to.
It's still broken, but I
Yeah,
can't feel
still
it
completely and
So-
utterly shagged. But it was no worse yesterday, mate. We had a question come in, which is right up your street, and it's from David Toms, and it was around nerves. He said, "How do you deal? Number one, do you get, and how do you deal with nervousness?" And I know you have been to the gates of hell on this one, mate, a couple of times. So, just wanted to get your sort of insight and answer on that, John.
Well, you have to make your choice, right? So I always relate things to pro wrestling. The Ultimate Warrior would run down to the ring and blow his entire load by the time
Yeah. Everyone, are you ready? My name is Uncle John. John's the Armwrestler. We are about to take over. It looked like the wrestling promo every time someone turned the camera on, and then the camera, something's happening, and they're just like,
Yeah, camera goes on.
and they're like 3, 2, 1, go, oh, we're back right here.
No sleep, no food.
we're gonna help ourselves. It was a great day though. I got to get my ass kicked by Sanders a few times. I won a couple matches and we had a very good party last night.
Third place on
Third place.
Third place.
You ended up third on the left, 242s.
Yeah, I lost. So he got first, Robbie Topi got second, and I was third.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Robbie Topi, you looked super comfortable with Robbie. Found this really comfortable.
We got to turn up the volume or something.
It's maxed.
Oh,
Yeah, you looked really comfortable with Robbie Topi there. Hey, anyway, John, let's get back to what we were saying. Nerves.
yeah.
Nerve this question, son.
You have to make a decision. What are you? Where are you? Is it a tournament? Is it a super match? What helps me is to put myself in the correct mindset. Now that I've had multiple shots at Arm Wars matches, and now having done a big tournament here and kind of reacclimating myself to the tournament setup, I think for me is just thinking about what type of person you need to bring. Right? Because if you go all out, if you Ultimate Warrior on the way down to the ring in match 1 or 2, this is going to be possibly a very long day for you. So just be prepared. And the best thing you can do is experience it. Because I experienced it once, twice, 3, 4, who knows how many times. But each time I kind of understand how my body reacts a little bit better. So just go and do what you do, but learn something from it if it turns around and screws you.
When was the
So,
peak?
John, did you get that dump yesterday?
What's that?
Did you get that energy dump yesterday?
The adrenaline.
No.
Did you come out all right?
I was on cruise control yesterday. Felt good,
Nice.
having a good laugh, good times, and everything held together, so it was good.
When's the most nervous you've ever been, John?
The most nervous I've ever been
Yeah.
was about match number 2, left-handed versus David Bradford in front of probably 1,500 people.
Yeah.
when I knew the writing was on the wall.
Right, white as a ghost. Yeah, that was a pretty special day, that one. That was a special day.
Jump off here. Getting pretty busy.
It's getting busy over there, is it now?
Yeah, gonna get some food.
Mate, you're a bad man. You're a bad man.
I
want to knock over a couple of super chats real quick. We've had a Big Grove Guts come in with one. It's ditched us. And it was for Coach Ray. Devastated. But he's put Coach Ray. I just noticed something. You have the same nose as John Brasink. He does have a similar nose to John Brasink. He does look very similar to John Brasink, actually, overall. He's a he's got a similar
very blocky head too.
Yeah, but younger. Looking slightly younger than John. He's put coincidence.
Like a quarter of the age.
And he's put who's your daddy? So you never know if John's ever been over to Latvia, spent a couple of weeks there. Anything could have happened. Yeah, Sandris, congrats on crushing this weekend. I will forward this over to him, mate, as well. I will definitely send that over to make sure that he gets that one if they don't dial back in. So let's have another look at any I've missed. Super chats. Happy belated birthday to the best to ever do it. Bit of interesting sidetrack I noticed as well on that one. John Brzezinski, birthday, and also Svetlana Gashevsky.
Really?
Bit of a weird coincidence, isn't it?
Jeez, two animals.
Two of the absolute top boys in the game.
Yeah.
And both of them birthday on the same day. You couldn't write that, could you? I just noticed it pop up on the feed, which is I found that really, really interesting. Thanks for that, Big Rob Dawson. Well, mate. So let's focus on yourself for a little bit here, Jordan. Obviously, you came over to Arm Wars. You then had a little one. Went a bit quiet for a while. What's the plan now, mate? It sounds like you've put on quite a bit of weight. You're up to 100 kilos, which isn't unusual for a lad who's 6'4".
Yeah.
What's the long-term plan?
I'm trying to take out the super heavyweight title in Australia this year. So I actually want to be in with the big boys, not pulling up with them like I usually do at States and stuff. So I've been in the game 9.5 years. I've gotten a 80 kilo national title before, and come close, many other times. But for me, the cream of the crop has really taken that super heavyweight national title. And I'm hoping that a couple of guys that I want to hunt down are there. Mario wants some revenge on me. And there's quite a few guys that are thinking about coming that haven't been present in the last couple of years because now we're a tested federation. So
very interesting. So about probably 2 years ago, maybe a little longer, I had a little bit of I was proposing the smashes to when Ryan was part of the fix, and I mentioned that we could put together a UK team to take on Oz. I think that would be still an exciting concept.
Of course it would be.
And I know that Ryan had spoken to the guys over at Arm Gods about replicating a similar thing, and I'm sure it works out. I think that will be a really good, a really tightly contested thing if you brought the best lads from Oz. If you were putting together sort of a bit of a dream team from Australia now, and you could pick 2 guys at lightweight, 2 guys at middleweight. Let's say you've got your best 165 pounders, so 75 kilo. Your best, and you can sort of slot the weight. So if it's 85, if it's 90, we got to obviously leave Danny Tesh out of it because you're not allowed anybody who's omnipotent. So we'll leave that. You could pick your absolute A team. Who would you be bringing? Say, then let's go 75, 90, 100.
Okay, so
and over.
75 is probably the hardest to knuckle down. If I was going to go right arm and you wanted a banger, I'd definitely go Mickey Lonkarovich from Queensland. He always puts in 100%. He may not, he still gets top 2 regularly at our states, top 2 at nationals last year. He's just been doing it as long as me. But if he actually got into training and, did something decent, man, he just gets into some wars. So it'd be perfect for Arm Wars.
What type of puller is he, mate? Is he a hook puller?
Hook, yeah. More side driven. And if he gets a top roll, he'll lean out. If it goes in, he'll stay open arm and pull out, and then he can also come in for that press sometimes. Yeah. So, I've known him for too long. And then, I can't go past someone like Josh Barker, who is our lightweight national champion under 70 kilos from last year. He may not be able to compete in the AEF at the moment, but that doesn't mean that he isn't still the best 70 kilo guy in Australia.
And why is that, mate? What's the situation?
Just from testing. Yeah.
He got done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's still the best 70 kilo guy that we've got. So, and then if I was going to go 85, I'd go Kyle Howarth and Sam Burnett.
Yeah.
Just Kyle Howarth is.
Yeah, we had Sam over at Arm Wars. He's got some people are going to get a really good look at Sam soon. He's in a lot of matches. So
that's good.
there's going to be a lot of matches coming your way in the Iron House 3. Sam was involved in some absolute screamers. So yeah, keep your eyes on that, no doubt.
Yeah, I definitely send Kyle House as the main man there to drive in with that press. Like he had that match with Bob Brown at Monster Factory, and he didn't get into anywhere to his lane. But I mean, if you give him anyone inside and he gets anywhere close, like he's just so monstrous on that press and hook.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. And then if you go up again, 95 kilos, it's kind of like a dark realm. Because a lot of guys are like 100 and something, and then 90. Like I'd probably have to cut there to be a good 95. And then who else? I don't know who else I'd chuck in 95, but 105 I'd definitely send Mario. And then there's a couple of guys that'd be a backup for the 105. So at the moment, I'd say that the top 105 guy behind Mario would be Bowen Cantado, just from what I'm feeling.
Where's he from, mate?
He's from Sydney with Mario, so he trains with Mario. He's same as Mickey. He'll scream out a match. Like he'll absolutely just keep going until he's either pinned or he gets the win. So yeah, I'd throw him there at the moment. Like there's 3 guys kind of pinning for that next spot in the 105s.
Yeah.
And one of them's a guy, like both of them I train with. So Torben Pelikan and then Ermin Sator.
Yeah.
And they're like, one's a lightning fast top roller and the other one's like an open arm top roller to inside hooker. So yeah, there's a lot of guys that are waiting for a call up that could honestly make a good match of anything. But
I'd definitely like to see Mario over here. I think Mario will be very interesting. He seems very versatile.
Man, if Striker's around 100.
Hey, we got a match coming up. Let me tell you about something that's coming up, guys. So anybody in the chat, one thing that you will have noticed by the thumbnail behind me, Arm Wars is going live again. And when I say live, I mean a live audience show. We are going to be doing an Arm Wars card at the True Athlete Expo. Now, those who don't know when that is, it's coming up in August. So the show will be going on Friday 11th, Saturday 12th, and Sunday 13th of August. It's at the Excel in London, England. So the capital city. We, i.e. Arm Wars, will have a card there on the Sunday. And it is quite a card, let me tell you. Rock solid. The headliner is the match you can see just behind me, other way, there we go. Bogdan Stoiker versus James Wall. And that is going to be a friggin' screamer. Right-handed, I really don't know who to pick. I really don't. Yeah, have you been watching much of James Wall recently? He's leveled up, Jordan. Yeah, man has leveled up. Very, very, very powerful, very, very explosive. Bogdan Stoiker, when Bogdan's on his game, I think he's had a few ups and downs, but when that guy's on, and he seems to be really firing now, really focused, he's a force of nature. So I think that could be an incredible matchup. I really look forward to that. So if you want to go to the True Athlete Expo, guys, if you are UK based or if you just want to travel in, tickets are available now. Get over to their website, True Athlete. That's at the Excel in London, England. Sunday the 13th, we'll be on stage from around 12 noon. The card is ridiculous. We've got a battleground there, hence the title, Battle in the Capital. The battleground that we've got going on there is I think it's going to be stupid. For those people who have not seen Friday's film, Jason the Hooligan Hill of Slough Slammers, who is a handful right now. He's also on a tear. He's really on the rise. He's going to be facing the man of the moment from the USA, Kevin Palco. So Kev's coming over, Arnold Classic champion of 2023. He will be over here facing the Hooligan in round 1. And we have a rematch in the second round of that, or the opposite side of that. And it's between Dirty Harry Lyle and Maynard Nenges. Now, for those of you who didn't see the Iron House 2 event, when those guys met on the live, it was an absolute screamer. Unbelievable battle. They're going to go at it again. If anything, I would say Harry Lyle has leveled up. And I cannot wait. I think both those matches are going to be ridiculous. I really, really do. So should be very, very interesting to see how that match goes down. We also have on the card there Coach Ray. He's going to be facing, well, Elliot Eccles. For those of you who've been watching the Arm Wars recently, you'll know Elliot's just come off the back of a screamer with Frodo Hogeland. So expect thunder and lightning there. Both guys love to hook. You will see it from the get-go right there because Elliot Eccles doesn't do running.
Is this your
What else have
setup
we
to
got?
get Ray and Frodo to have a match?
Oh, it's coming, mate. When we get as soon as Frodo's had a few issues with the elbows, I think he's going to be getting some stem cell treatment. And once he does, he'll be back in the mix. So that's a match that's on the card as well. Look out for Coach Ray, Elliot Eccles. That will be unbelievable. We're adding a couple more matches on there as well. We've got some sick matches lined up. So I'm really looking forward to this card. I think it's going to be exceptional. It's at the True Athlete XL London, Sunday the 13th of August. You want to check it out, guys. That's where you can see the thing live. Guys just put in the chat, Mario's put Kevin Palka versus Raul Panica. Mate, we've been in touch with Raul Panica. Raul Panica will be coming to Arm Wars. It's just a date. Raul was nearly at this show. If you speak to Raul, he'll tell you. We've approached Raul a couple of times. Just getting the date right, but he will be over. Potentially Mazza here as well at some point. But Raul Panica we've been in contact with, and he will be on a card in the future, as I'm sure will the Reacher Jordan Davis. It's just when. Simply a matter of when. Mate, when are you looking to come back up and resurface? I know you were saying 2024 is your sort of coming out party in that respect. What weight will we see you at?
I'll see how I go. I'm trying to get to 105 for nationals, and I'll probably resettle back at the 100. Like I'm just sitting there at the moment because I pushed really hard to get to this 100, and I'm trying to keep it nice and somewhat cleaner on the body, so I'm not just getting some love handles.
Yeah, well, it's a slippery slope, mate. I've been down it.
Yeah,
right to
exactly.
So
I want to jump on, get to 105, and then I'll probably resettle at about 100. There's 5 guys that I want to beat that I haven't beaten in Australia. If I can achieve those, I'll be a very happy man. And then I'll punch on for bigger and better things next year. So, yeah.
Stylistically, mate, have you changed your game up at all, or are you still very much top roll based?
I've definitely developed more in my hook, and I'm working on my press. So
very interesting.
Yeah,
optimum weapon with your height.
Yeah, my press can come in if I feel like my opponent's going out now. So I can go out or fully in, depending on the strength level. Like if I feel someone's going out, I feel like I can contain them and pull them in now a lot better than I've ever been able to. So, yeah.
Wow, interesting stuff, mate. And when you say you've got sort of a hit list of guys over there in the super heavyweight division, give me an indicator. Are we talking, are you going after the usual suspects? Is it Lachlan, who I believe is the top of the tree over there? Is he the guy on the hit list most, or are you not?
No,
Lachlan?
I'm focusing on the AAF
and who
so I can compete at national. That's the guys that I've hunted for forever. So Gunter Spikos, Marcus Atirai, and then Ryan Scott. People that have eluded me in my chance for victories. So those kind of people. I want to cement the flag with Mario as well. Because I feel like last time we faced, I don't think he was at his best. And then I want to give him that chance to come back with it too. And then I've got Fatali Mateo as well, a guy that I've gotten a win over at our last Queensland State Championships 2 years ago. So just want to cement that flag again as well. So all the guys that are kind of coming up at the top tier of the super heavyweights, and that are just behind Lachlan, in that sense too. So yeah.
And in terms of the sort of growth over there, are you seeing the same growth in Australia that we're seeing around the world at this point in time? Has it really exploded over there?
I mean, we've got more people at clubs. If we can get them into comps, that'd be great. But I think it's just a matter of time. I think percentage-wise, like if you look at our population compared to others, it's probably about the same. It's just not as noticeable because you get that rollover. People come in, they roll out. I'd say we've gone up huge over the last couple of years. Like you can turn up to a training session and all of a sudden there's 30 guys there.
Yeah.
We can go up to one and there's only 12 because, no one wants to come out on a cold night. So
does it get cold in Oz then?
Apparently.
I know every time I've been over there, it's been frigging boiling. And like, what is your hot temperatures over there? It's like mid-40s, isn't it?
Yeah, like 42. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my God. Couldn't even forget it. Not interested. We had it over here the other week. It was like 30, 33, 34 degrees, and that was enough for me, mate. I was like,
I climb in ceilings at that temperature. What are you talking?
Forget it, mate. I was tapping out. I do not want to know when it gets above 30, like 33, 34. That's it. I'm done. It's like, whoa.
I'm feeling it a bit more at this weight, though. Tell you that.
I can do cold, but I can't be doing hot. Aircon's the best invention of all time, as far as I'm concerned.
So we've got August for Arm Wars. What's the next thing coming down the pipeline? You got another dark card?
Actually, the dark card. Might as well give you a sneak preview on that. The dark card will be dark card 3 for all our channel members will be taking place, and also on this one, on the True Athlete event, the Battle in the Capital. If you're an Arm Wars channel member, so our Arm Wars channel membership starts at like £6 and go up in tiers. If you're one of our Arm Wars channel members, you'll get to see everything, all the behind the scenes, and we'll be putting out everything from the True Athlete show. We're breaking that in films in the same way that we do with the stuff that you've just seen from Iron House 3. Almost straight off the back of that. So there's a couple of weeks break, and then we go straight into Dark Card 3. And that will be shot the first week of September, last week of August. Devon Larratt will be the headline there on the left arm. And we've got a stellar card just at the back of him as well, featuring guys from all around the world. We're bringing back Mika Sakwariladze for that, and I can't wait. He's looking bigger and stronger than ever as well. That's the guy you could end up running into down the tracks, mate, because you're so.
You put a flame up his ass, didn't you?
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what. He's got a lot of potential. Mika's another guy that's very explosive, really committed. He's thrown himself into the game very, very hard. I expect that there'll be some big matches for him coming down the pipe. Just Sterling Jackson's just put Reacher versus Nanastad in the chat. That's a match we've been trying to put together for a very long period of time. Got to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe even both arms, but definitely right arm. It has got to happen. But
I don't know if my left could handle that.
He's pretty serious. He's got a match coming up at the High Five Knuckles Up. So the same weekend as the East versus West gig. In August, so that's the weekend of the 26th. There'll be the High Five Knuckles Up show in NYC, and he's on that card. So Nanastad will be pulling on that card against Jason Merlo, Top Rod, Bass Curl. Going to be pulling against Nanastad again. It's a match I've offered that match to both men many times. Jason's got a bit of a affliction with flying, doesn't want to fly, worries him a little bit. I think he's watched a few disaster movies and it's put him off. And he knows what swims in the seas. So yeah, not too keen on that. But that could be a great match. There's some good shows over there. But yeah, for ourselves, it's going to be back to back. We got the True Athlete show coming up straight onto the Dark Card 3. So August is absolutely signed, sealed, and delivered. And then I would say the back end of the year, possibly November, we would do another Iron House. If it's not November, we'll probably roll into early next year but we got a shit ton of stuff coming down the pipes. Absolutely loads of stuff coming down, particularly for the members. We got loads of stuff coming out. We've even got, so for our channel members, we've even got some unreleased footage from the Eurosport days. I don't think many people realize we shot just before we ended the contract with Eurosport. We actually shot 3 events that nobody have ever seen. Never seen them. They were never released.
A lot of content.
A lot of content. We did 3 events that were never released. The Red Line in Spain was never released. Ferocity Germany was never released. We had a number of very, very strong cards that that have never been seen. So we're probably going to put that out for our members, and that there's some frigging bangers on there with the big name suspects that you can imagine on there. I even pulled. That's how long ago Red Line was. I pulled in Red Line. So yeah, quite a while back, that one. But yeah. So we got
your wrist out or what?
Mate, my wrist is completely shagged, but a little bit of news there. It's pretty official now. I'm going over to the US soon, and I'm going to get the stem cell therapy on my wrist. So that's coming. Not necessarily for competition in arm wrestling, although if it works, it's a done deal.
Never say never.
Mate, if it works, it's a done deal. I will be arm wrestling again. If I can arm wrestle again, I'll arm wrestle again. There's no doubt about that. But I'm going over. I'm definitely getting that done. Without a doubt. Yeah. At the moment, it's just from a situation where I go out on my bike with my sons. I can't ride up a track on the bike without my wrist swelling up. Can't brush my teeth. Can't wash my hair. Just usual, standard, everyday stuff. Completely and utterly knackered. I'm here with 2 frigging electrode bracelets on that are wired up to my phone that keep pulsing electric shocks through my wrist to try and keep it working. They're great, incidentally. They really, really do work. Yeah, it just pulses. Just sends. You can send messages off your phone. It just pulses electricity through your wrist. Keeps it working. But yeah, it's completely shagged.
I use the old the wrist ball.
Okay. Yeah, the gyro sizer thing.
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
I did a lot. So I got flop top rolled. When I went to top roll, and I wasn't prepared for it, and I actually squished that little bit in between the bottom of the wrist, squished the tendon in there, and I took about 6 months, and then I found the gyro ball, and I literally, like, within 3 weeks, the extra blood flow just healed it up. It was freaking amazing.
That is very, very good to know.
Any time I hurt my wrist, I just grab that thing out, and I'm like.
Yeah, just
do
light repetition work.
Yeah. And I'll move my wrist around too. Like, I'll have my wrist as far back as possible and just do little movements and stuff like that, just to get, different movements on the wrist whilst the blood flow's going through.
Yeah. When Dev came over for the Dark Card 2, we were speaking extensively about, he pulled with us a little bit afterwards, and he said, "Holy shit, Neil, your wrist is wrecked." Said he can feel it just dislocating and the bones all cracking around. And the next morning I got up, I'd just had a few beers and I shot myself full of painkillers. And but the next day I got up, couldn't hold a cup of coffee. My wrist was completely destroyed, So we got talking about it, and he said, "Yeah, you definitely want to get in touch with Vitacell." So I contacted the guys at Vitacell. Let me just give the highest possible recommendation. There's so many good people in this sport, and the guys at Vitacell, Dr. Mark, Rob, John, all the guys that I've dealt with over there, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. We'll talk to you all day about the potential for the treatments. It's incredible. So I'm going to get over there. The idea is that I would go over, have as many treatments on the wrist as it takes to repair it, if we can repair it. One of the complications that I do have is I have a chronic cell disorder called sarcoidosis. It's a form of sarcoidosis that I have, and that makes it a little bit more complex. It's almost like an autoimmune, so that's problematic. But let's think positive. I'm going to go over, going to get it done. Massive thank you to all the guys at Vitacell who were advising me and helping me out on what I need over there. So I'm going to go over probably, I would think, mid-September for the first time, and then maybe once every month, every 6 weeks, go over and get it done again and see if I can get that repaired. And if I can get it repaired, then yeah, you never know. Might find myself back in the loop and arm wrestling in a little while. We'll see how it goes.
And that makes it interesting.
Well, it'd be fun. It'd be fun just to be able to pull again. I'm to be honest, the hunger's not there to chase big things. Like yourself, always been a natural arm wrestler, and I'm never going to go. I will never deviate from that. Including the title, supernatural. It's just what I do. So never going to deviate from that. But I would be interested, and I'm sure that it. Once you get back up there and start pulling, I think some of that fire had come back. I think it's probably pretty unavoidable. So if I can, hopefully, touch wood, get something repaired with the Vitacell guys, then I can get out there. I can use my my arm sport handles a little bit, see if I can get some serious work done. And you never know. Let's see what happens. Early 2024, if I've had some kind of real improvement, and then I'll definitely throw myself back in on one of the Iron House events. I'd do something, Start steady. Not go chasing any massive names or anything like that. I'm not going to get carried away. See how we go. Be good to be able to train again. Be perfectly honest, just to be able to do something again. That could make a massive difference. So watch this space, guys. I'm definitely going to get over there and get it done. And we'll see. Timeline remains to be seen. But if it can fix my wrist up, mate, let me tell you now, if Vitacell can do something with that, fair enough, because it is shagged.
Yeah.
So, I'm sort of a natural skeptic. I know, like you were saying there, you've been on the wrist ball and that's sorted out. I've tried so many things with this. I've tried bands. I've tried. There's a thing called a Marcy wedge. Have you ever come across that?
No.
Okay, so it's like a frame that fits on your arm.
Oh.
Just like a.
And you flex in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That back in the day used to be my go-to. It was amazing. Just light repetition movement on the Marcy wedge. And that's been incredible. But hasn't been able to touch this. Just can't touch it. It's completely shagged. And when I've had MRI scans, CT scans on it, and they've told me the same thing. It's completely and utterly bollocks. And when I said, can I get arm wrestling again at any point? They said, no, we can operate on it. We don't know what kind of benefit you'll have. So we'll see. But if Vitacell can bring this round,
sit together, kneel, and have a straight wrist.
Well, talking to the guys, they genuinely believe, and Devon's absolutely adamant. He said, if you get over there and you have the Vitacell treatments, that will repair it. He's utterly convinced. And I got to be honest, Jordan, when you pulled with Dev when he was over in Australia, was his arm still in really bad shape? Could you feel it moving in the joint and stuff at that time?
No, I didn't feel it move in the joint. I felt like he was maybe more open than he is now. You know what I mean? Like just not as connected with it. But like I've pulled him.
What year was it that, mate? Can you remember?
Oh, the last one would have been 2018, 19.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Probably 19, I'd say.
Okay. So just very close to the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when his arm was shot to shit and he'd had the operation, he came back sort of 16, 17 when he was coming back into the sport. Whenever you practiced or pulled with him a little bit, his arm was ruined. Absolutely knackered. You could feel it was loose in the joint, cracking and clunking like hell. When he came over to the dark card shows, let me tell you now. I mean, the last event, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Different man. Totally different individual. I felt anything like it.
I'd love to feel it, to be honest. Like, because I gripped Devon back in 2015, then 2017, and then 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to feel what it's at now, because like I couldn't do anything for the first couple of years, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, I knew that there was a little bit of movement in him. Like, he just didn't have that same position, and that might have been the time that, he had some stuff going on. So love to know what it's at now. But
it feels lunatic strong. And very versatile and very smooth. No damage, no issues. You can literally hit onto him, and Devon, being Devon, will always allow you to work. Really good guy to train with. But let me tell you now, frightening. I was talking to Paul Lynn. the other week on
I
here.
feel
You were
like
saying the same.
it's never a good thing to hit with Devon. A slow, constant surge is what you want with Devon. The
I tried
moment
a
that
lot
you
of
release-
angles, mate, and I got no frigging change whatsoever. And I mean, he let me into some good spots, you know. Literally supported my wrist with his hand.
Yeah.
So a lot of pressure on the back of my wrist so it didn't dislocate.
Yeah.
And I just wound up in the straps. Forget it. Absolutely. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But the most remarkable thing was there was no issues with his arm, no clunks, no bumps, no nothing. It felt fluid. It felt brand new. And the question I had was, how in the hell have you gone from where you were to that guy? And he said, Vitacell, mate.
Mm.
He said, the Vitacell treatments have just completely regenerated that element of my arm. And I couldn't believe it. That was the biggest thing for me. At that point, I thought, whoa, I've got to, if they can resolve my wrist, I've got to get over here. Got to get over there and get it done. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Johnny Armwrestling with a super chat. Thanks, mate. He's put, got a decent UCL strain. Was wondering if there is any recovery strategy or just get reconstructive surgery. Exactly what we're just talking about, mate. All I can say is I'm exactly the same way I've been told by the medical professionals after my scans that if I want to do anything with my wrist, I would have to have it rebuilt, restructured. And I'm not really keen to do the surgery. I've been down that route many times. You can see in my shoulder, in my elbow. I've had my elbow reconstructed 3 times. It's a long process. The elbow, as I say, I've had 3 major operations and 4 minor ops. And what's the right word? I mean, so I suppose it's just the soul destroying thing. There's only so many times that you want to have your right arm in a frigging cryo cuff and be unable to do anything. It just really gets you down. So for a period of time, I thought I'd just try and leave the wrist and let it scar tissue up and do its thing. But over time, it has become a problem, you know. So check it out, Johnny. Vitacell are pretty unique. I'm about to go. I mean, follow my journey. I'm gonna do it, and I'll film it all so you guys can see exactly where we go. We'll serialize it for the Arm Wars members, and we'll see how we go. But I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna get over there, get it checked out, see what it can do. If it can get me back to arm wrestling, my hat will be the first to come off, because that is remarkable. If that stuff can heal this wrist when I'm 50 years old, holy shit. Absolutely amazing. Not as young as springtime anymore, mate. So see what happens.
That's it. All right, man. Well, I've capped out on my hour. I've got to get
Mate,
to work.
good to see you.
I'm just around the corner. But,
we will catch up, I'm sure, in early 2024, if not before. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right. Cheers to everyone in the chat. Have a great night. And Neil, you take care of yourself. Hopefully everything works out with Vitacell.
Take it easy, bro.
We'll talk soon.
Speak to you soon, Jordan. Speak to you soon, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I'm going to stay on here just for a few more minutes with you guys in the chat. Let's see who we've got in. I'll ask any questions. The other thing we want to focus on, we're only a couple of weeks away now from East versus West July. Funny enough, to tell you a little bit of story. The other night, I'm on the phone to the guys from Vitacell, and I'm speaking to Dr. Mark, who is one of the guys there that will be administering the injection into my wrist. And who is he with and who is he working on at that very moment? I hear a familiar voice, and it's Jerry Cadorette. So Jerry Cadorette was actually with the guys at Vitacell that day. So Jerry is another guy that's really gone down that road. We'll see what happens. I'm watching Jerry's progress in that respect, but he was there. He was having the treatments that night. I've spoken to Jerry a number of times. He came on the show a couple of weeks ago, guys, and he was also of the opinion that the treatments that he's had from Vitacell are exceptional, and they've really worked for him. So yeah, as Two Smooths in the chat said there, Neil plus science equals extra supernatural. We will see, mate. We will see. As I say, different guys approach this thing different ways. I'm never going to go down the PEDs route. It's just not me. It's not what I'm about. I'm going to try everything I want to achieve, and everything I have achieved in the sport of arm wrestling has been just me. For me, that's what it was always about. I wanted to just know whether I could achieve anything what could I do? What couldn't I do? And if I do continue in the sport or trying to make a comeback into the sport, it's definitely going to be on those terms. So I just want to see if this can heal me up. Let's see what happens. And if it can, yeah, watch this space. We will see what happens. Let's just make sure that I haven't missed any super chats in here. I'm not going to stay on for too much longer tonight, but I want to make sure that we haven't missed anything. Hey guys, if you don't mind, if you are in here tonight, please give us a like. I think we've got about 100 people in here, 139 people in here, only 73 likes. If you're here, guys, and you don't mind hitting that like button, that'd be ace. Let's see what we got questions wise in the chat. Silky Wilkie's in here. He's put, Neil, Hermes just uploaded himself swimming in an anabolic pool to get stronger before the match. Are you serious? What the fuck is that, Silky Wilkie? I will check that out when I get off here. Sounds unbelievable. Old broken guy. Let's see what he's put. I've got to get some stem cells also, mate. I am committed. I'm going for it. And he's put again, damn, I can't wait. I hope you get back at least to where you can have a normal life, mate. If I can get this wrist healed up, I would 100% take a match. Maybe a couple of matches. We'll see. We will see what I can do. I need to get myself trained up again, do something, because I definitely haven't been. So we'll see what I can do. Johnny Armwrestling. Hey, Neil, any idea how expensive Vitacell is? Kind of broke college students. I'm not sure how viable it is right now. So it depends what treatments you have, mate. For someone like myself, it's beneficial just because of the fact, I don't know how old you are, Johnny, but if you're a college student, what would that put you, like late teens, early 20s, maybe? So your healing capacity is probably way above mine, mate. And also the amount of damage I've done over years in my arm is pretty serious. So that's really where I'm looking at this from. And if I can get this repaired, that will make a massive difference to me. So a few quid, it's definitely worth it in that respect. Rufus St. Hubbins, there is a massive synergy with stem cells and IGF-1 growth hormone. That's how to get the real power. Yeah, each to their own, brother. I'm not going to go down any kind of PED route. Just not the thing. Muscle Bike, best of luck with the stem cells, mate. Thank you very much, Muscle Bike. Appreciate it, brother. I will be going for that. And as I say, for those who've just joined us, I will sort of serialize it. We're going to make a bit of a film of that. We'll document it, particularly for our Arm Wars channel members. We'll go into real detail on it as well, so you guys can see exactly what the process is. So our channel members, as you know, channel members get more. So we're gonna put that out and let everybody see what goes down. Sammy Sprinkler's question: did you go easy on Michael when you guys pulled and you realized that he had injured himself? Yes, is the answer to that question. Yes. I thought I could get the job done by pulling a different way and backing off a little bit. Michael doesn't read any scripts and tried to make sure that wasn't the case, and he's very committed. That guy will break his arm, and he did. I mean, truth be known, that is exactly what happened. Guy busted his arm that day. He was in a terrible state afterwards. Michael hasn't got a backward step in him. It's that simple. I thought his arm was going to snap at any point. It was, yeah. Michael Todd went into a match a couple of months after that we did at Triple XL in London. Funnily enough, the same place that we're about to go back to. The night before the match, told me that he was going to jump into the hook with Wagner Bortolato, and he said one of two things is going to happen, Neil. Either I'll take his soul in his strongest position, or my arm's going to snap, and it will be one of those two things. Well, the second one did. One thing's for damn sure, Mike knew it was coming, and he did it anyway. I just didn't want to be the guy on the other side of the table when that happened. Mike's my friend. He was also a heavyweight champion. I knew something let go in his arm. Yeah, not good. Silky Wilkie, make sure you get them stems that are compatible with you being 2 weeks into the future and all. Hey, mate, I'll tell you. Let's have a look. Luke Pulcher. Luke, how you doing, brother? I think we'll be seeing each other soon. I believe you're over at East versus West, and it looked like you're pulling really well right now. Looked very, very strong over in that last match. Chris Thomas, what injury is Jerry trying to heal? I think he's still got issues in various areas. I mean, let's be honest, Chris. How How the hell has Jerry Caderet not got more injuries? The style he pulls in, the most brutal style in the world. So many times you look at Jerry and you think, oh, that arm's going to let go. Never has done. And hope to Christ it never does. But he pulls in the most unorthodox, brutal style of arm wrestling possible. And he's been doing it for so many years. The scar tissue build-up in that guy's arm must be unbelievable. Really must be unbelievable. It's very interesting I'm very interested to see what he can bring to East versus West. Does the world turn upside down, guys, if he puts the brakes onto Hermes? What do you guys think? You know, I think that Hermes will start as a big favorite. If you break the match down, Hermes has got tremendous explosivity. His hand and wrist is probably about as good as it gets. That explosivity and the combination of the great hand and wrist control ordinarily is a weapon of mass destruction. Very interesting when you're pulling a guy like Jerry who's just going to drop A-side on you. He doesn't really give a shit about defending the hand and wrist, and that makes a big difference. Now, that gives an opportunity at that point for Hermes to make a conscious decision. If he can blast and get on the A-side, probably got the speed advantage. Does he then try and transition around quickly and get the press engaged? Or, like so many other people, does he fall into the trap of trying to hang that thing up on his back and wait out Jerry? Jerry takes some waiting out. So I think Hermes should look to finish quickly, and I really do believe that he will. I think Hermes will look to finish that match as quickly as he possibly can. Trip World 30303, Neil, I'm looking forward to seeing you call Hermes and Jerry to the stage. I'm looking forward to doing that, mate, because that's a match I'm really interested to see. A lot of the matches that have come up in East versus West are matches that I've previously tried to put together in either Arm Wars or the WAL. So, for example, Jerry's match with Gennady, we'd slated that a couple of times for the WAL. Hermes, we had not, because he was a smaller man at that time. So the evolution of Hermes Gasparini has been very interesting for me to see. I love both these guys. Massimo Gasparini, who's Hermes' dad, was a guy that I used to pull with and against back in the day. Lovely dude, very, very thick-set, powerful lad. And that's where a lot of the genetics that you see that have supported Hermes' career. Before he went up to the super heavyweight pro class, he was always rock strong. Michael Morris, hey Neil, I live in Brisbane, Oz. There are no clubs here. It's badly needed. Nowhere to train. What should I do? Mate, I would say that Oz is probably one of the easiest places now to get in touch with people. So I would say contact the National Federation, get hold of those guys, and they'll give you some advice about where you could, even if you're, having to fly into somewhere, stay for a weekend and get some really solid training with a couple of good clubs. I really think it's worth it, mate. Also, I would say take something like a video camera over there. You just get your phone teed up so you can film everything. Why I say a video camera is because sometimes if you're doing something like that, you want to take massive amounts of footage, and it can just jam up your phone and make YouTube no room on there. So if you've got a specific camera that you can, or just get a memory card or something, you can get big memory cards now and just fill the frigging thing. Keep it running, try and get all that information, take it back, and you can download it over and over again. That's going to give you some benefit, but there is nothing that can replace time on the table. It's that simple. Very best of luck with it, Michael. Hope everything works out for you over there. Let's have a look. Agent of Chaos. I think the Gennady versus Morozov match will be interesting to see where Devon is. If you assume Morozov is number 2, number 3. Mate, I don't get into the whole 1, 2, 3 thing. It's really, for me, arm wrestling doesn't work like that. It simply doesn't. Arm wrestling math is a funny thing. On any given day, guys get to a certain level, and under the right criteria, on the right day, under the right lighting, things can go down, let me tell you now. And there's a number of guys that if they get their position, you're in serious trouble. Arm wrestler A beats arm wrestler B, but he can't necessarily beat arm wrestler C and all that. It's a funny thing. Devon's forearm ban check, mate. It's funny. I got a note from Timmy Turner. He didn't want to be a mod anymore because he felt so bad about having accident. I think he fell asleep. Timmy Turner fell asleep and accidentally banned you, mate. Didn't mean to do that. Michael, thank you. No problem, brother. Let's have a look if we got any questions. We'll stay on here for about 5 minutes and then I'm going to get off, guys. Neil, you think Larry versus Mask is a good match? I don't know, mate, because stylistically, you would think that Larry is an easy match for Matt. I think the match that Matt's got coming is a very hard match. That's for sure. Kalinachenko, who he's pulling over in Canada. Holy that's a hard match. Sergei Kalinachenko is lethally dangerous. That guy is on the rise. He's on the rise. All things going well, you'll see him very soon in the Arm War Super Series as well. I'm good mates with Sergei. He's going to be over here in the Arm War Super Series really soon. So keep your eyes open for him there. He could have a date booked with a number of people. Could Larry Wheels be competitive at 105 class in East versus West? It depends where Larry's weight is and where he feels comfortable at. I know that he can drop low. I think right now he's pretty low, isn't he? Like maybe 242s, like not much above that. I did see a piece with him saying that he wants to cut weight down, going to get off PEDs and cut weight down further. So we'll see. Peter Alliston, I fancy Kalinachenko for that one. Yeah, I'd love to see Matt do well, but I think that's a very, very stylistically very, very hard match for Matt. Who knows? And I love Matt. I want to see Matt do well. And Matt against the right crop of guys is venom. Super entertaining, lad. One of the most entertaining guys that we have in the game, in my opinion. Trip War 0303. Neil, please have a match this year. Want to see you back. Mate, I don't think it's possible this year. I mean, Vitasel proved me wrong, but I really don't think it's possible this year. My wrist is knackered, really, really knackered. So I just don't think it's doable. But I'm hoping. They tell me that, you know, within sort of a year, they could make a staggering difference. I'm going to see. We will see. And the guys at Vitasel have been fantastic. Really, really great to talk to. They give you a lot of advice. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try and get over there. It's probably going to be mid-September. We'll film the whole thing. So the guys that are members on the channel, you'll see it go down. Myself and James will head over there to the US and I'll try and get it sorted about. Phil Woody, fashionably very late. Hope you're good. Can't wait for the XL. Mate, XL is going to be a stupid card. I'm really looking forward to that. Matt versus Lamparelli at East versus West 10 will be a good one. Yes, it will. Lamparelli and Matt is very, very interesting. Both got similar stats. Very, very interesting. Frank Lamparelli's solid. Bit of a forgotten force, but when he's on his game, very, very strong lad. What's your perfect Larry matchup to happen in the next year? There are so many, mate. I mean, it's a funny thing with, I say this all the time with arm wrestling, but it's very easy to get caught in the crop of guys that are right there in front of you. If you notice what we've been doing with the Arm War Super Series, we try and bring in some new lads as well. And let me tell you now, there are so many great arm wrestlers in the world right now. Just so many. And I would love to give opportunities to more and more of these guys. I mean, we're talking early on, you know, Andre Sharp doesn't get much love, but rock strong guy. So many guys around the world. If you go to most of the developed arm wrestling nations in the world, there are sleepers everywhere. Guys you don't know are that strong, but they are that strong. And it's those guys that it'd be good to see one of those so that Larry doesn't get the same kind of pressure. I suppose he has to pull a bigger name. I know that sounds silly, but him pulling a bigger name, he's nowhere to fall. If he does pull one of the guys that yet don't have a name, someone like a Nick Stone, who I know everybody tells me Nick Stone is really, really strong. Maybe someone like that. Maybe someone like Mega Mike. You know, that kind of puller. You heard earlier on from Sandris, he was saying Lachlan could be good. You know, I think it needs to be someone that allows Larry to find his position. Larry's biggest issue in the past that has been shown up has been endurance. A lot of that will have been in the past because the lad's new to the game, so he's inefficient. Clearly unbelievably strong, but inefficient. So that could have been one of the problems. Sammy Sprinklers, Neil versus Jody, May 2024. Hey, you never know what happened, mate. Buzzard's Roost, any other plans when you come across the pond? Just curious if you had anything brewing. Hey, you never know. You never do know. Depends where I'm at. Won't be arm wrestling, of course, because my wrist will be completely wrecked. But I would, if I'm coming over there and it's anywhere near where there's some really good fishing, that would be awesome. But yeah, I think to be perfectly honest with you, mate, probably not. I think I'll be on a plane, get the treatment done, and straight back out again. That's probably what's going to go down. Buzzers Roost, hit that like button, folks. Yeah, if you guys, if you can, that'd be awesome. Neil versus Phil Woody, real battle of Britain. Mega Mike is a bit too much for Larry right now on the table. Technique thing, not power. Yeah, be interesting, mate. I think that'd be an interesting test. It would allow Larry to rev up. I think he'd find his spot there. I think he'd be able to get where he needs to be. And I think that's massive for him. That's really where he needs to be. He needs to be pulling guys just at the moment who are not going to test him too much technically, but just allow him to get a smooth lane. I think there he'd finish the match. You'd get to see what he's got throughout the duration rather than him being burned and gassed. Because if you watch Larry whenever he's in a match, if you watch him pull him with Sanders the other day, he's still the guy that's gonna come blazing in there and leave it absolutely 110% on the table. He's going to go balls out, and he doesn't pull necessarily with maximum efficiency yet. His power is really climbing. His technical prowess at the table is really climbing. But as he develops in the game, he's going to build those layers on, and that will make a great deal of difference to him. Roger Callingham in the chat. How you doing, mate? He's put better come fishing with me, Neil, if you want the big uns. Mate, I would love that, Roger. I would absolutely love that, pal. I keep track of what you're nailing. You and Merlo doing very, very well. Let's have a look. James Clark, you see, saying Larry will beat Mega Mike right now. Where is the Vitacell Center? There's a number. They're all over the place, mate. So I'm going to wait for them to tell me where. Possibly Louisiana, possibly Vegas, possibly Florida, possibly Maryland. We'll have to see. But that will all be in there. James Clark, unless Mike turned into a freak since the last time they pulled. I think they've only pulled in a couple of times, haven't they? They've pulled once at the LA FitX, I think, and I believe they've pulled in training since then. Silky Wilkie, Neil, will you adhere to the ethics committee? New mandate for commentators, both sanctioned footwear. Mate, I haven't been following that, but I need to ring Ryan Espy at some point and say, just ask him what that's all about. I didn't even know there was an ethics committee. Going to be honest with you, didn't know that was a thing. Didn't know it existed. I don't know what the history of that is. Ethics is not to do with footwear for me though, brother. So yeah. But at the moment I'm not sanctioned. I'm unsanctioned, particularly in footwear. Luke Pulsher, I'm not new. But I'll make a great addition. Yes, you would, mate. I know you love it. The small James, no, he will not. I promise you. Might beat him basically every time. And that was letting Larry into his spot. You guys only saw a quick vid, not the actual pulls. No, but I think that's a good match, mate, because of that fact. Because the guys have met. They've had a little bit of back and forth, little bit of banter. We get to see that play out. And I do believe that both guys would be happy to pull arm on arm. I think both Mike and Larry want it to be about arm strength. Both of them are going to go a little bit towards that inside, and I think that's going to give us a more entertaining match as a result. Mega Mike's got a little bit of a name over there as well, so that gives Larry a little bit more of a spring bed where if he does lose, it's not too hammering. For someone with the profile of Larry, that's got to be a path he treads carefully to some extent, because fair or not, people are watching Larry. They're always going to be watching what he does. And criticism comes his way. Again, unfairly, the guy's not been in there long enough really to attract it, but he definitely does. Johnny Armwrestling, hey Neil, what's it take to get on Arm Wars? Just curious of where I need to aim for. Ordinarily, mate, we are looking for guys of a certain level. The usual kind of level we look at is around national champion level. Most of the guys that you see on the cards are around that kind of level. The lower level guys are national champions. They can really arm wrestle. You don't see guys on there who are not versatile. They've got to have a real pedigree and they've got to have experience. But we're looking for entertaining arm wrestlers. We're looking for versatile arm wrestlers. We're looking for guys who are not just fast finish. They can get into the trenches. If the thing goes south on them, they've got options B, C, and D. That's usually the guys that get in there. And we're going to be introducing another crop of new lads coming in this year. There's some more. We'll continue to do that as well. We'll have that carousel of new talent coming in there quite a bit. Silky Wilkie, do you think Larry needs to lose in his strength lane to realize he should utilize more technique to capitalize more quickly on positions? Yes, and I think he already has. I actually believe that Larry, because of his massive amount of experience in strength sports of various types, will have a really good feel for that anyway. And I think he does have a feel for that as well, Silky. I think he's got a pretty good idea. And I think he's probably under no illusions where he's at. I think he's very realistic. When I've met of Larry, he seems like a pretty understated guy. And he's clearly got balls to do what he's doing. He's hung them out there. He's got a massive social media following, and yet he's happy to go and pull. And he's pulling against guys quite a few times, and have pulled against guys quite a few times who start as a significant favourite over him. He takes his lumps. He's had some ass kickings, and he gets back on the horse straight away. So you can't knock the lad for that. I do think in the past he's probably been poorly matched in some instances. There are a number of matches out there that he could take and that they'd be good. I do think Mega Mike is strong enough to hold him up, and I think that's the kind of match he'll learn from and he'll grow from. I think that could be the kind of match that would be good for him. Clerks 93, who you got, Neil? Sandris versus Pavlo. I got Sandris. I have a lot of belief in Sandris Sheris. I think he's a very, very technically versatile arm wrestler. I think Pavlo is phenomenally strong. I think that he's not got the roundedness of Sheris right now. Has he got the power advantage to a level where he can hang Sheris up? Maybe once or twice. But I believe that Sandris's versatility, endurance, head will win through. I think that Sandris is the favourite going into that match. Can Pavlo win? Possibly. We'll see. But I've got Sandris, and I've got him probably 65 on favourite, 65%. I would say maybe slightly more, but not much. Pavlo strong enough to do the job. Has he got that over the duration? I struggle to see it. You never know. Arm wrestling's a funny thing, and he's progressing. Pavlo's unbelievably strong lad. There's no doubt about that. Very, very strong. So you're drawing some conclusions off what we've seen to date, and I think he's got some possible holes there when it comes to endurance. And if he does, I do believe Sandris will show them up. What was interesting, though, was Sandris saying that he might have a few issues with his neck and so on at the moment. Don't know how bad that is, how significant that is. Hopefully it's not too bad. Silky Wilkie, Arm Wars cannot contain the power that is Jeff Hale. Mate, I could talk all night about Jeff Hale. I absolutely love him. Jeff Hale is arguably, he's as good as anyone that's ever been in Arm Wars. It's as simple as that. The guy is a walking inferno. He's a fantastic entertainer. He's a magnificent arm wrestler. He's an even better bloke. Jeff is my guy. Love him. Absolutely love the lad. I really do. Phil Woody. Let's have a look. Mark KDX Ryder. Who will see. Let's have a look. Will we see LW, Larry Wheels, on Arm Wars anytime soon? You never know, mate. I don't know. I would be happy to put something on there for Larry. Happy to discuss that with him. I could touch base with Larry and Adam and see what they would be interested in that. It's possible. We'll see Devon Larratt beforehand. We will see Auden Larratt beforehand. So Auden Larratt's professional arm wrestling debut could be at the Dark Card. Very interesting if that does happen. Bearing in mind, I started his dad's career. His dad's first super match was with us. That's quite a nice thing, really. I hadn't actually thought about that much, but that's quite a nice thing that started Devon's career on the pro circuit. It will be good to do the same for Auden. I think, from my perspective, I would like to think that Odom, at the age he is, needs to be just nice and steady. He's only a puppy. And I think everybody in arm wrestling needs to understand he's just a young man. He's just growing into the game. So little steps. I think it would be good. Odin will be in Arm Wars, mate. He's coming over with his dad. He'll be at the dark card. Looking forward to doing. The real reason for Odin coming over is not about competition. It's about furthering the guy's experience, working with him, teaching him, getting some technique. But he's probably going to pull there. We'll find the right kind of opponent. Who will that be? You know, we will see. We'll see. But I think it's got to be at a level where we don't put anything on in Arm Wars that's an easy run for anyone. But we got to put a great deal of thought into exactly who we put in there. Sorry about the moth. Let's just go on, make this off. Great deal of thought into exactly who we match with Order, who we put in there with him. Critically important to get the right opponent, particularly for a young lad like that. You know, we will see who he's up against, but he's coming. We're looking forward to it, and he will be on the Dark Card 3 again. Members will see it. So let's see how that goes down. Dominic Lorenz, good day, Neil and all. Mate, how are you doing? Can you put on a seminar training day? Maybe at some point we will do that, Chris. Yeah. Right now, a lot of plates in the air. We're spinning quite a few. I know a lot of guys doing that at the moment. We won't be doing it at the Dark Card. That's just we will be cramming that to get as much content as we can for the channel members. There's a chance that Engin Terzi will be coming over for the Dark Card as well. Not confirmed yet, but being discussed, under discussion. Will Engin pull? God knows. I would love him to, but even if he doesn't, it wouldn't matter. You just come over and we can have some fun, review some old matches, things like that. But as I said earlier, we do have some archive stuff, which is really interesting. And we're probably going to start to pull that together for our members as well, because we did 3 full events that have never been seen. There's so much archive stuff that people want to see. We have a match with Devon Larratt and Ron Bath that was quite a match, and nobody's really seen it. You know, all this stuff was cut for Eurosport. Nobody's seen it yet. So that's the kind of thing we want to get out there for members as well, for our YouTube channel members, because their support is what keeps the Arm Wars Super Series going. So we're really, really keen to make sure we keep giving really good content to those guys. Incidentally, for those in the chat, if you haven't seen Friday's film, get over there, check it out. Jodie Williams and Jason the Hooligan on Friday. Great film. Actually went out on Saturday. Apologies. We had a few technical gremlins James experienced, so we got it out there Saturday. That went out there Saturday night, but it's there. It's free to view, as we always put out, totally free on the Friday nights. Get over, check it out, guys. We're approaching 11 o'clock. I'm probably going to knock it on the head there. We've been on for about an hour and 13 minutes. I want to say a massive thank you to all of you for tuning in and checking out the show. But a pretty quiet weekend in arm wrestling in some respects. We did have the Arizona stuff going over there. Not long now, and we are at East versus West. That should be quite a card. We'll have a lot of stuff coming up focused on that in the next couple of weeks. Remember, guys, as I announced earlier tonight, Arm Wars is going live again. XL London, Sunday, 13th of August. If you want to see Arm Wars up close and personal, we'll be putting on a great card there on the afternoon of the 13th of August at XL in London. The battle in the capital is coming. Straight after that, for our members, the Dark Card 3. That'll be headlined with a left-hand match for No Limits, Devon Larratt. And Odin Larratt will be on that card as well. A lot of stuff coming, guys. A lot of stuff coming. Great show tonight, Neil. Excited to hear about the stem cells. Too Smooth, great show. Phil Woody, thank you, mate. Almost for live, GB. Good night, folks. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time. Thanks for tuning in and checking out the show. Quiet one tonight. We'll be back with the fix next week, and I might even jump on here for a live with you guys during the week. Take it easy, peeps.